Welcome to Wine and Food and Two Riders. And today is a simple, straightforward video. If you're a wine enthusiast, you know that the good stuff's inside here and you got to get it out. This is a champagne bottle. It's not champagne in it, it's cava, which is similar in the method that it's produced. Champagne, cava, some of the sparkling wines in the US and in Italy and France start with still wine. That means wine that's not carbonated. Wine and a little bit of sugar and yeast, which is called a dosage, is put into these heavy bottles. They have a lid put on them, and they ferment in the bottle. The yeast turns the sugar into carbon dioxide, which gives you the bubbles in your sparkling wine. The thing is, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot more pressure trying to get out than the air pressure trying to keep the lid on. So we're going to take a look here. Most of these bottles are going to have, also I'm going to move these glasses around a little bit. You're going to have a tab that helps you get this capsule, this foil. It used to be foil. It's still kind of foil, but helps you get that off. Once you've got that off the bottle, you have a cap, a cage, a little metal cage, and a cork that was slammed in there. That cork started off life about 1.5 times that diameter. When it comes to the bottling line, they just slam it down and it goes in there. Once you pull this cork out, what's very thin right now is going to try to expand back to its old size. So here you go. First off, you want your bottle cold. Doesn't have to be ice cold. It doesn't have to be on ice at all. But cold is good. It helps to keep the carbonation in. This is a champagne flute. This is a fancy champagne flute. This is a little bit more standard, what you might find at a world market or a store like that. Specializes in a lot of kitchen goods. We're talking about getting the cork out, and then we're going to talk about putting it back in. So, this thing, if you turn this down and you turn it, well, first off, I'm right-handed. I'm going to use my right hand, put my left hand over top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an 8th turns is what will open that cage all the way up. Now, if you just let this go on its own accord, it'll go flying up, hit the ceiling. You wouldn't want to have it pointed at anybody. If you don't have a lot of grip strength and hand strength, you might find one of these little handy-dandy kind of jar openers to give you extra grip on a jar if a jar is having a time of it. You could also put a dish towel over it. I normally just take it and turn it, and as you turn it, there's a lot of pressure as it wants to come out. You'll make a popping noise, but I didn't let it go flying. The cage and the cap are there. This cork, as you can see, is already wanting to widen out. What I consider real decent sparkling wine is going to have a cork in it. It's not going to have a piece of plastic in it that you might find in something like, I don't know, Cook's or J. Roger or Andre or something like that. Those wines are still wines that are put in a vat. Carbon dioxide is injected to it, similar as to how it'd be injected into Coke or Pepsi or something like that. It doesn't have any of the fine bubbles, and it doesn't have any of the more refined flavors that sparkling wines that are done in the traditional champagne method have, and this is one of those. This is about a $9 bottle of Spanish cava, which is their sparkling wine done in the champagne method. Once you've got your lid open there, you want to tip your champagne glass, your flute, and you can see it's just loaded with bubbles. And I'm getting a nice sort of an appley aroma coming off of there. We'll put a little bit more in and try to... Ooh. I'm going to walk behind the camera. You can see the fine bubbles coming up. And if you have a glass with tall, straight sides like this, like a champagne flute, it allows those bubbles to generate for a while. If you have one of the fancier champagne flutes like this, the bubbles start at the very bottom and they'll generate for a long time. These are a little expensive, and you know, a glass flute like this you can get at your World Market or any of your other places that sell kitchenwares. So now you've got your wine and you're looking at it and you're looking at the bubbles. You smell it. This came from one of the German chains that's in the U.S. now. M. Chevalier. Sounds very French, but it's Spanish. It was a decent wine for the money. It was about $9. So, if you don't finish your bottle, you want to put it back in the refrigerator, that's not going back in. A normal stopper that you might use on a bottle of still wine, if you put it in and you shake this at all, it's going to pop out. You can find these at some specialty stores. This goes on and locks down. And it'll, you know, a partial bottle will keep some pretty good fizz for about a day or so. That's one style. This is another style, goes in, swings on. If you're a regular at a restaurant and you're a regular wine buyer, or maybe even at one of your wine shops, wine salespeople will come around, and if they're trying to promote sparkling wine, whatever country it's from, a lot of times they'll have branded enclosures that they'll give to the retailer or the restaurant. And if you're on a first name basis with your waiter or your wine rep at the store, ask them if they got any closures for champagne. They might be able to just spring you one, maybe sell you one for $1 or something. Anyway, that's it for how to open a champagne bottle and also how to reclose it. If you like this sort of content, you could consider subscribing. There's going to be simple, straight to the point videos like this, and there'll be more complex videos talking about travel, talking about cooking, vineyards, wineries, wine production, things like that. But this was just pretty straightforward. Thanks very much for tuning in. This is the first video of what's going to be a series, and hope you tune in again. Cheers. Enjoy.